Everyone, welcome back to See Today Business. Now, Indonesia's digital landscape is rapidly evolving, with internet usage soaring and social media becoming an integral part of daily life. In fact, Indonesia is a top 10 country for social media users across major platforms like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Now, according to the Indonesia Internet Service Providers Association, in 2024, there are over 221.5 million internet users out of a total population of over 278.7 million. The latest We Are Social report states that as of January 2024, Indonesia ranks 9th for average daily social media usage, with Indonesians spending over 3 hours per day on platforms. According to Statista, in Indonesia's social media ad spending is projected to reach $1.19 billion in 2024, with the number of users expected to reach 275.6 million by 2029. Not just social media advertising, but Indonesia's digital media industry is forecasted to see revenues of $3.2 billion by 2027. So let's talk more about business opportunities in the digital and social media industry with Tirta Prayudha, and he is the CEO and co-founder of Big Alpha, a financial content platform, social media management, and events and PR service providers. Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so it looks like it's a very big business, but how do you see the condition first of the digital media industry in Indonesia? We know that most of there's a big chunk of Indonesians, they are very glued to internet and social media, 3 hours per day. Is it prospective, or do you see it more on a competitive and challenging side of it?
We can see it from both ways, actually. At first, we can see it as an opportunity where we can market our products, we can create contents, but on the other hand, we also see it as a challenge because there are changes in how the youth consuming their contents and news, right? Their attention span is getting shorter and shorter. So it can be challenging for us if you want to deliver the contents or financial information to the youth.
Right, so you're saying that you have to create contents that are more engaging, shorter in a way, because their span of concentration is less.
Yeah, because it used to be different with the older generation where we used to consume contents or financial information or even news from the TVs, the newspapers or magazines. Now we are glued to the social media, especially for the youth. So that's why Big Alpha was there to be that bridge, to make bite-sized information on financial contents for the younger generation in Indonesia.
Yeah, and I think in the past few years, the word monetizing has become something that everyone wants to know about, because we are so glued to the internet. But how do we monetize content creation, for example, and make the most of in this digital realm?
At first, you need to offer something unique, because nowadays the barrier of entry is very low. Everyone can become some sort of independent journalist, if you can say so. And then even for influencers who can build their audience and build their own unique voices, they can be seen more advanced than the expert themselves, right? So if you want to monetize your digital presence on a digital platform, the first thing that you need to do is build your audience and offer something unique, so it can be different if we compare to other platforms or other news outlets, if you can say so.
So unique is better than good.
It's better to be different.
It's better to be different, that's the word. All right. Okay, so more and more Indonesians are spending time on smartphones and digital platforms. With that in mind, more companies seeking promotions online, and how opportune is the industry for offline and offline event organizing, online PR as well, and social media management in Indonesia, like what Big Alpha is doing?
Okay, at first we're seeing a gap, right, between the financial industry and the Indonesian people. So we want to bridge that gap. So nowadays, I realize that more and more brands are more aware on how utilizing social media, but that same level of understanding is not equally shared between brands, especially if you can say state-owned brands and companies. They're still seeing social media as part of corporate identity instead of using it to its full potential as a powerful marketing tools. For example, I often still seeing that many of the companies are still using the same contents in every platform.
Right.
They're just mirroring their content in every platform instead of customize it to its own unique platform.
Yeah, because they have different segmentations.
Yeah, because they have different segmentation, they have different audiences, they have different appetite in consuming the news and information.
But I mean, looking at your portfolio, your clients are big names. Like we're talking about Bank Indonesia, even the G20, Telkomsel. How do you actually go through that and sort of like marriage this online and offline, both worlds? You marriage that and offer that. Was it the initial plan when you started Big Alpha?
It was not, actually.
It was not.
We were pivoting several times during the several years since we founded Big Alpha. Thank God our digital presence is quite good. Most of our partners and brands are approaching us, knowing us from our platform. So we offer several services to them. So we customize and tailor-made the contents to their needs. The idea is to keep our identity unique because the basic principle since Big Alpha was founded was we were trying to be the bridge, the knowledge bridge to fill the gap between the knowledge of Indonesian people and financial industry. So we were committed in making financial contents we slice and dice the contents to be in a bite-sized information, if we may.
Bite-sized information.
So even for people with no financial background at all, they can still easily understand our contents. So that unique selling point are seen by the brands and companies and probably the governments and ask us to become their partners in delivering message to the audience.
So it is a good business then?
If we can say so, yeah. But we're still growing.
You're still growing, so there's going to be a bigger Alpha in the future.
Amen.
Amen to that. And how has the revenue growth, I mean, if you could share with all of us here, how has the revenue growth been for Big Alpha in 2023, maybe in the past years? You started in 2018.
Yeah.
You said it was a weekend project, and then you had team, and then now it's growing up to today.
Yeah, since the inception in 2018, we are growing constantly, both in sizes and in revenue. But as a profit-oriented startup, of course, and with no external funding, of course, we need to be cautious in spending our budget. We need to make sure that every dollar that we spend should generate more to the business. So there were some challenges, of course. We cannot grow as fast as we want, but I think that's the correct way if you want to do it right, instead of spending enormous amount of money focusing on growth instead of making profit as a business, right? So there were challenges back in 2023 since it was a tech winter, and there was also presidential election campaign. So many of the brands are holding their budget to spend their budget. So, but we managed to survive.
Okay, but what are the competitors like? I mean, in the pool, are there many competitors, or what is the industry like?
There are some, but not many in financial media. There were in, if you can say, current affairs or political or even infotainment like Lambe Tura, right? So that's the basic idea. But in terms of finance and financial industry, I don't think there are many competitors like similar platform like Big Alpha. So our main goal as a platform, of course, is want to disrupt the conventional news outlet. Right. Because we want to change the way people consume financial information.
So it's more easy to digest, it's bite sizes, as you mentioned, it's fun as well.
Yeah, we want to move the financial information from your living room to your palm.
Oh, wow. Right, that's great. Okay, so let's talk about the future. How does it look like for this particular industry, content platforms, online management and promotional services?
I think the future is bright because we have a so huge demographic as our market. We don't need to go abroad to enlarge our audience, right? Yeah. So if we compare to the internet user in Indonesia and the social media user combined in Indonesia, and we compare it with our audience and our followers, I'm sorry, it's still minuscule. So I think the potential growth is there, but we need to make sure that we are offering something unique than other platforms because the barrier of entry is very low. Everyone can make their own platform. Everyone can build a team, invest some money in it. So instead of being just a platform, try to offer a unique selling point so you can differ from other platforms that already exist.
So again, dare to be different.
Yep, slightly to be different is better than slightly to be better.
Yeah, well, I can see that you're pretty young, and I think you're very inspirational as well. Can you share your personal journey? So you had a sort of like a turning point, and then you started Big Alpha.
Yeah.
What inspired you to make this Big Alpha?
Big Alpha started as an observation back in 2018 when I was diagnosed with my disease, Guillain-Barré syndrome. I spent almost a year bedridden, so I had nothing to do in my spare time. So I decided to share my personal insights, opinions about finance, business, and investing. It got traction almost immediately, and then I realized at that time that there's a huge gap between the industry and the Indonesian people. And I tried to become that bridge, and I realized that I cannot do it alone, since I'm a wheelchair user, and I don't think I can travel to many places. So I decided that I need to build a team, and I need to build a platform for it. So hence, Big Alpha was started. We want to be that bridge. We want to be that information bridge for the Indonesian people and between the financial industries.
And again, it ends up as
a business, yeah.
Yeah, as business, and as you mentioned, the creation should be bigger than the creator.
Yes.
So that's what really drive you and made you up to this day.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Prayudha, CEO and co-founder of Big Alpha.
Yep.
And hopefully you come again to our studio.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right, we're going for a break. When we return, we'll have more business updates, so stay tuned here.